Nicole Smith.
And Steve Keim from Blood and Iron Martial Arts.
And today's video is about martial rule sets and how to use them successfully to run a tournament.
Short Blade Symposium was conceived as a platform where multiple weapon-based martial arts could compete together in a fair and equitable environment.
To accomplish this, we consulted with Warrior Strike Martial Arts in Washington State, the Citadel Combat Arena in Portland, Oregon, and many other accomplished groups, including the Dog Brothers group, to come up with a tournament rule set that ran successfully for 3 years. We'd like to share with you the details and why it works so well.
These rule sets are based on a competition of similar weapon styles. For this, we used single-edge trainers like the Messer and the Jinunting, as well as a Shotel that was modified to be of similar length and weight. This, along with many other trainers, gave us a tournament that was as evenly matched as possible.
The first thing we should discuss is what makes a valid strike or cut. Allowing for sloppy cuts and strikes will completely invalidate everything that will come after it and compromises the legitimacy of your tournament. In order to be a valid cut or strike, there are 3 core factors.
Factor number 1, rotation. This is more than just weapon movement. Proper rotation will have good core structure and hip engagement and will allow for proper power generation.
Factor number 2, edge alignment. These are not lightsabers or sticks. These are swords. If the edge does not line up, the cut will fail. This is a fundamental aspect of the tool we use.
Factor number 3, striking on the proper point of the blade, or point of percussion. The point of percussion is the place on the blade that does not vibrate when impacted. This point provides the highest cutting potential. For simplicity's sake, we define this as approximately 1 palm width from the tip of the blade. This definition is both historically accurate and relatively easy to see from a judge's standpoint. To emphasize these 3 factors, the lead judge or director will perform cuts on a tatami mat to illustrate the difference between a failed cut and a successful cut to all the competitors in the tournament. Scoring is a very important criteria for holding a tournament. Different parts of the body are going to have different point values. These are broken down as follows.
First, we have the head. This is the most valued target, as a strike here from an edged weapon using the 3 core factors we described will undoubtedly end a sword fight. For this, we have assigned a 4-point value to the head.
The second target area here is the torso, which runs from the shoulders to the hips. This area is a lesser target than the head and is therefore assigned a value of 3 points. Moving further down on the list is the legs. This is assigned a value of 2 points. Next, we have the arms. These are separated into 2 values, 2 points for the weapon hand and 1 point for the offhand. Since the weapon hand is more essential, it is the higher value target.
Lastly, we have thrusts. Like cuts, a thrust must have sufficient structure and force in order to be effective. There must be enough penetration for the thrust to have a scoreable value.
An uncovered thrust landed to any target is going to be worth 2 points. A covered thrust shown to control the opponent's weapon or weapon arm will be afforded the highest point value of 5 points. This is done because a covered thrust is one of the most challenging techniques to pull off successfully.
Disarms will be afforded a value of 2 points, the same as a strike to the weapon hand. Ring-outs occur when both of one fighter's feet touch the ground outside of the fighting ring. If this occurs, a single point will be awarded to the fighter still in the ring.
An afterblow is a subsequent strike landed approximately 1 tempo after the initial scoring hit. This will incur a 1-point deduction from the original strike. If an afterblow lands late, it will be disregarded.
A double hit occurs when both fighters land a strike in and around the same time. We permit 3 double hits during a pool match. The first 2 will garner a warning, while the third will count as a double loss for both fighters. A faulted double occurs when one fighter takes no consideration for the danger imposed by the opponent's weapon and attacks suicidally. If a fighter is found responsible for a faulted double, then they will be docked points at the judge's discretion.
From time to time, we will find a fighter who will purposefully ignore incoming hits to strike back at their opponent as hard as possible with the intent to injure them. These are revenge hits and will not be permitted, as it is both unsportsmanlike and unrealistic in a sense that no one will intentionally absorb a strike with a sharp sword in order to hit their opponent back. These individuals go against the spirit of our rules and will not be tolerated. Depending on the severity of the infraction, fighters like this will be penalized with point deductions, match losses, or complete removal from the tournament.
Grappling rules can be added based on whether the tournament will be held on mats or hard surface floors like gymnasiums. When taken to the ground, a fighter can subdue their opponent and, having their weapons free, and present it in a clear and dominant position. This can be afforded the same point value as a covered thrust. Rules like this can be changed or amended on a case-by-case basis.
This rule set can be modified depending on the weapon you are using, but the spirit of it should remain the same for a fair and evenly matched tournament.
We hope you enjoyed this video detailing our short blade rule set. If you did, please like and subscribe. And as always, a big thank you to our Patreon supporters, with whom this would not be possible.
If you enjoy the content that we present, come join one of our live Zoom classes by clicking the link below.
And remember, if you don't put in the training, you won't get the result.